The surgical lights hummed in the sterile bay of the Arcadia, an orbital research station orbiting the stormworld Virel 9. The medpods were lined with alien patients, soldiers, researchers, and explorers from half a dozen worlds. But all attention centered on the creature inside the containment field at the far end of the room. It was called a Korath, a predator species from the equatorial jungles of Virel 9. 2 meters of coiled muscle, 4 arms tipped with claws that could shear through plasteel, and a face that seemed carved from night maze. The creature lay strapped down, breathing shallowly, its obsidian scales glistening with a dark iridescence. Dr. Thressel, the station's chief veterinary biologist, a wiry, violet-skinned Zolari with 4 narrow eyes, trembled as she looked at the readouts. Its vitals unstable. Cortisol levels off the scale. It could wake and tear through containment in seconds. Standing behind her was Lieutenant Mason Hale, the only human aboard the Arcadia. His uniform was plain, his expression calm. He'd seen creatures like this before. Not Koraths, but things that growled, bled, and feared all the same. "Then keep your hand steady," he said softly. "We're not here to fight it. We're here to help it." Thressel's voice quavered. "You do not understand. The Korath slaughtered an entire survey team last year. Its kind hunt sentient for sport." Mason's gaze didn't waver. He stepped closer to the field, eyes locked on the creature's twitching eyelids. "That one didn't hunt anyone today. It's bleeding out because it saved one of your med drones from a cave-in. Look at the wound. Those are compression fractures. It dragged the drone out before the rocks crushed it." The alien vet flinched, her gill slits fluttering. "You can't know that." Mason just said, "Watch." Middle, the language of fear. He deactivated the outer barrier, stepping inside the medpod with only a bioshield and a syringe of coagulant. Thressel made a strangled sound. "Are you mad, human? If it wakes, then it'll see a friendly face." He crouched beside the Korath. Its 4 arms trembled, its second set of eyelid fluttered. A low growl vibrated through the chamber, deep enough to shake the floor. But Mason's voice remained steady, almost gentle. "Easy there," he murmured. "Nobody's going to hurt you." Thressel's heart hammered in her chest. She activated the field monitor, watching as Mason placed his hand, bare skin against scale, on the creature's shoulder. Every instinct screamed that it was suicide. Yet something strange happened. The Korath stopped growling. Its breathing slowed. The color in its scales shifted, from dark crimson to a muted gray-green. Mason smiled faintly. "See that? Not angry, it's afraid." "Afraid?" Thressel echoed, disbelief sharp in her voice. He nodded. "Predators feel fear too. They just hide it better. Look at the tremors in its dorsal muscles. Not a sign of aggression. That's panic. But why would a Korath fear anything? Because it's in pain. Because it's surrounded by strangers who smell of antiseptic and ozone. Because everyone's staring at it like a bomb that's about to go off." He drew the coagulant into the injector and pressed it to the creature's side. The wound sealed with a faint hiss. The monitors calmed. For a long moment, the only sound was the hum of the med bay. Then the Korath opened its eyes. They were amber, not the predatory red Thressel expected. Its gaze darted wildly until it locked onto Mason's. The creature hissed, but Mason didn't move. He simply said, softly, "You're safe." Something in the way he said it, the rhythm, the tone, made the Korath blink. Its claws flexed once, then relaxed. Thressel exhaled shakily. "Impossible. They do not comprehend verbal reassurance." "Maybe not the words," Mason said, "but tone matters. Calm matters." He looked at her. "You treat animals like they're machines. You measure them, sedate them, restrain them. But fear isn't data, it's universal." Thressel stared at the human as though seeing him for the first time. Middle continued, the storm outside. Hours later, the Arcadia trembled as a lightning storm ripped through Virel IX's atmosphere below. The crew huddled in the observation deck, worried about the containment units. But Mason stayed in the med bay, sitting cross-legged beside the Korath's pod. He dimmed the lights, speaking softly into a translator node. "We call storms like this thunder. They used to scare the hell out of me as a kid. But my mom said, fear just means you're paying attention." The chorus made a low rumble, not a growl, more like a question. The translator buzzed uncertainly, then projected broken words. Why? Help? Pray? Mason smiled. You think I'm prey? The creature tilted its head. Soft, smell of sun. Not hunter. Maybe not, but I've fought predators before, the kind that don't stop when you run. And you... He nodded to its wound. You saved something weaker than you. That's not hunting. That's compassion. The translator struggled, rendering only fragments. Not word, only feeling. That's enough, Mason said. The door hissed open. Fressel entered, her hands clutching a datapad. Human, the storm has damaged the outer hull. We must move the creature to cargo hold B. It's the only section still shielded. The Corytha's head snapped toward her. The moment her scent hit the air, it bared its teeth and roared. Fressel froze, her eyes wide. Mason rose instantly. Back off. You're wearing sterilization chemicals. That scent means danger to it. Fressel stumbled, trembling. It thinks I'm a threat. Mason stepped between them, hands raised. It's not angry, it's afraid. The words echoed through the medbay. For a moment, even the storm outside seemed to quiet. The Corytha's muscles loosened again. It let out a low rumble, something almost like a sigh. Ending. The bridge between species. By dawn cycle, the storm had passed. The Arcadia orbited peacefully above the glimmering blue clouds of Virel 9. The Coryth, now stable, sat upright in its pod. Its wound had closed, and its eyes followed Mason wherever he went. Fressel stood beside him, datapad trembling slightly in her hands. You have done what no one thought possible, she whispered. You have tamed a Coryth. Mason shook his head. Didn't tame it, just listened. Fressel hesitated, then looked at the creature. Its kind communicates through scent and tone. You somehow match both, instinctively. Humans evolved with predators, Mason said quietly. We didn't have claws or armor. We survived because we learned to understand fear, in others and in ourselves. The Coryth made a low sound, one the translator hesitated to process before finally saying, Human, not prey. Mason chuckled, glad to hear it. Fressel lowered her gaze. You've taught me something our entire science missed. Fear isn't weakness. It's a language. He gave a small, tired smile. Exactly. And once you understand that language, you can talk to anything. Later that cycle, the Coryth was transferred to a habitat dome, no longer restrained. It watched as Mason prepared to leave for the next expedition, claws resting against the transparent barrier. When the ship disengaged, Fressel caught a last glimpse of the creature lowering its head in a gesture her data records had no word for. Respect, perhaps. Gratitude, maybe both. In her final report, Fressel wrote, The human species demonstrates a form of empathy that transcends logic. Where others see monsters, they see fear. And where others fear fear itself, humans walk straight into it. Final line. Out in the void, as the Arcadia vanished into starlight, the words Mason had spoken still echoed in her mind. It's not angry, it's afraid. And perhaps, she thought, that was what made humans the most dangerous and most beautiful species in the galaxy.